Today we are going to take a look at the Source Audio Neuro Mobile App and how it works with the Ventris Dual Reverb. This video is to get everyone started and explain how to use the Neuro Mobile App to quickly create fun and highly customized presets for the Ventris. So what I'm going to do is create a dual reverb preset from the ground up, and in the process show you how to use some of the Neuro Mobile App's essential elements. Okay, so as I say every time, but it bears repeating, the Ventris has a ton of great sounds on its own without ever plugging into either the app or the Neuro desktop editor. That said, there are many cool things you can do with the editors. I'm not going to touch on everything in this video. If there's anything I've skipped over that you want to know, you should check out our Navigating the Neuro Mobile App with the Ventris Dual Reverb blog. I will leave a link in the video description below. Okay, so let's get going. Now the first thing you want to do is download the app. It is a free download for Apple and Android devices. Just go to the App Store or Google Play and search Source Audio Neuro, and it should pop up. Once you've got the app, you want to connect it to the pedal with the 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch Neuro cable that comes with every Ventris Dual Reverb. Just plug it in from the headphone jack on your phone to input 2 on your Ventris. Turn up the volume all the way on your phone. For some Android devices, you may need to turn down the volume 1 or 2 clicks from its maximum level. The first screen you will see is the pedal selection carousel. Just scroll through until you get to the Ventris image. Under that image, you will see 3 icons. This gear icon will open your hardware options menu. In here, you will find all the global options. Let's see, some of the most important ones include this drop-down that chooses between true or buffered bypass. Preset extension mode gives you 4 additional presets for a total of 8 presets accessible without using a MIDI controller. You can also assign global functions to a 2-button external foot switch. So, like I said before, please check out the Neuro and Ventris blog for more details. So let's get back to the main page. This little note icon is where all my personal user presets are stored. They're under the User tab. There is also a Factory tab, which contains a list of presets created and curated by the Source Audio staff. The Publish tab contains all of my personal presets that I have published and have made accessible to the entire Neuro community. Then finally, here there is the Web tab, which has all the presets created by all the Ventris Reverb owners. All right, let's go back again. It's time to create our preset. Now I can either hit the pedal image or this little slider icon, and it will take me to the sound editor. This is where we do all of our editing work. You can see there are a ton of adjustable parameters in here, which you can use to really customize your sound. So in the last video, I created a vintage Rollins space echo sound. So this time I'm going to go quite a bit more non-traditional. We're going to go in more of an ambient direction. I'm going to create a dual reverb preset with 2 of my favorite unnatural reverb sounds, the offspring and the swell reverb. The first thing I want to do is scroll down and select my routing option. Go down here. I've got 1 line going into the pedal and I'm coming out in stereo, so I'm going to select mono in, stereo out. And to start off, I want to work with only reverb A, so I'm going to select single reverb A. Now I just scroll back up to the reverb A controls. This first group of sliders and drop-down menus is where I make all of my reverb A edits. I'll start by hitting the Reverb A engine drop-down menu, which reveals all of the available engines. I'm going to select Offspring. When I do this, a little box will pop up and ask me if I want to use the factory default settings. Now this is great. If I hit OK, the app will automatically bring up a great group of settings to use as my starting point. If I hit Cancel, all the settings will stay right where they were before. I do want to use the factory default setting, so I'll hit OK. All right, so this is how Offspring sounds. Yep, that is very cool, but I want to make a couple of tweaks. First, I don't want the repeats to last as long as they are, so I'll turn down the time. I want them to move a little quicker, so I'll tighten up the pre-delay. And I want to accentuate that rippling effect, so I'm going to turn up the master offset control. The master offset is one of the Offspring's engine-specific controls. For each of the reverb engines, there is a unique set of parameters that apply only to that engine. They will automatically populate this area of the interface. Okay, so here is my tweaked Offspring sound. Good. Now let's scroll down and select Single Reverb B from the Dual Single Mode drop-down menu. It's time to set up our second reverb sound. I'm going to pick Swell, and here are the default settings for that one. Yes, I just want to make a couple of minor tweaks to this. I want to turn down the treble a little bit to mellow out the highs. I also want to turn down the envelope gain sensitivity so that I have to hit the strings a little harder before the swell effect engages. You won't really hear much of a difference here, but you can feel it. Okay, so now it gets fun. Let's combine these two reverbs. I'm going to scroll down to the Dual Single Mode drop-down menu and select Dual Parallel A plus B. This is essentially the same as selecting A plus B on the toggle switch on the face of your Ventris. You can also run your two reverbs in series. We call that cascade, but today I want to run these reverbs in parallel. So both sounds are reacting to only my dry signal. They are then mixed together in stereo. And speaking of mixing, let's first look up at the Common Controls section. These three sliders allow me to mix the levels of my dry signal and wet signals of the A and B reverbs. Control 1 adjusts reverb A. Control 2 adjusts reverb B. I'm actually going to turn down the dry signal quite a bit and go for some full-on ambient guitar. All right, just to fill you in, the way I've set this up, I'm able to trigger that Offspring sound by thwacking part of the chord. Then I gently strum the rest of the chord, which awakens the swell effect. It's a cool effect. Obviously, this is just one example of what you can do. We urge you to get as experimental as you want to be. So here we go. All right, now let's try something else. I actually want to split my two reverb effects to each of the speakers. I do that by scrolling down to the I/O routing options menu and selecting mono in, independent stereo out. This is a stereo recording, so hopefully you've got some headphones or you've got some nice speaker separation. So on the left side, you're going to hear the Offspring effect, and on the right side, you'll hear the swell effect. I'm going to turn the dry signal down again so that you can really hear that separation. Alright, so I've got my sound. Now it's time to save it. I've got a few different options here. If I want to upload this sound directly to my pedal, I just hit the Burn button at the bottom of the page. You'll see this Rolodex thing come up, and here I can select where on my Ventris I want to store my new preset. With the first 12 options, I can override any of the default engines stored to the pedal's effect selector knob. But as I scroll down, you'll see all the preset positions, and there are 128 of them. So I found a position, I hit burn, and the deed is done. It's on the pedal, and I can easily access it on stage or during my next rehearsal. My other option is to save the preset to my personal or public library. So I hit the File menu button, hit Save As, and the Save As window pops up. Here I can name my preset and give it a description. Let's call this Tumbling Dice. Once I've done that, I hit Continue, and the preset will be saved to my User tab on the Browse Sounds page. Okay, there it is. Finally, if I want to publish my preset so that other Ventris owners can try it out, just take the preset listing and slide it to the left. I've got two options, publish and delete. Of course, I don't want to delete that. I want to publish it. Hit publish and go over to the web tab, and there it is. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the YouTube comments section or email our tech support at contact@sourceaudio.net. Thanks for listening. Bye.